Welcome to the Jill on Money podcast. It is Wednesday, November 3rd, midweek. Wednesdays are good days for me and Mark. We like the hump. We're very happy to be over the hump. I hope it's a good day for you. If you have a financial question and you need to get over the hump, just go to our website, jillonmoney.com. jillonmoney.com. Click on the contact button, and there you can just write your missive. We'll get it. If you'd like to come on the air with us, then of course you can do so. But if you don't want to come on the air, it's just going to take a while. We'll get to your question eventually. If you want to skip the line, come on the air. And when you come on the air, I like hearing your voices. I like knowing you hear the emotion behind what's going on. And since we know that so much of this is emotional, it makes sense. What were you going to say, Mark? Wait a minute. I didn't know that. Mark says there's now a very lengthy line to get on the air. Do we have to start talking to more people? I wish I didn't have this other job. All right, let's get to our listener question today. Julia is on the line from Pennsylvania. Hi, Julia. What's going on? How can we help you out?
Hello. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Ooh, I like that high energy. That's good. That's good.
So I have some questions. They vary from retirement. Are we putting enough in? To we want to build a house, actually a barn dominium where we just moved to. And just a bunch of questions. So,
all right, let's go. Let's go one thing at a time. So, Julia, how old are you?
I just turned 31.
And you said a we. Is there a partner in this?
Yes, my husband.
And
Yep.
how old is he?
He's 30.
How much do you guys earn?
Gross is I'm 90 and he's 70. He also gets a car stipend of $6,000 that is not taxable. He just was promoted in this past January. So this next coming April for his new position, he's going to be getting around a $25,000 bonus, and that is taxable.
Wait, a bonus meaning is that something I should count on, or is that a one-time only thing?
It's pretty much every year he'll be getting a bonus like that or bigger.
All right. So I can say 90 grand for each of you, which is pretty, eventually, that's just months away. Okay, great. Do you guys have any children?
We don't. So our current situation is I bought a house when I was 24. I fixed it up. It was a fixer-upper. I sold it for a profit of $190,000. We just sold it this past April. So now we're living in a 400 square foot room with 3 dogs and a cat.
Wait a minute. Wait. Stop right there. You sold this place. Were you living in the fixer-upper yourself?
Yes. It was a small home. It was like 1,200 square feet, but it was definitely, a nice, cute home.
Okay. And you sold it, and your net profit, $190,000, which is now sitting in the bank?
Yes. We did use some of it to pay off like car loans and all of our debt, and we still have some of it sitting in there waiting to pay off my husband's $30,000 student loan.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just waiting to see kind of what Biden does. And if he doesn't do anything, we'll just finish it off and be done with it.
So you're renting a 400 square foot room with 4-legged creatures. What is left in the bank right now?
$142,000, and 33 of that is going to be set aside for his student loans.
Okay, got it. You must be saving money hand over fist if you're living in a 400 square foot apartment. How much is the rent?
Well, it's free because our in-laws own this pole barn that has the room in it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So now tell me about the barn dominium idea. I like this. I've never heard that word, but I love it.
So we have property that's next to actually where we're living right now that we're going to be purchasing it's going to total $25,000. So the barn dominium is basically a metal building. Footings are going to be, wood sitting on pilings in the ground, and then it's going to have a concrete floor. We're doing a loft in it. So it's basically a giant metal rectangle that has metal siding and a metal roof. It can be cost effective depending on how you do it.
Hmm.
compared to a normal stick built house. So,
When you say you're going to buy it for 25 grand, is that going to be, are you going to use the 25 grand from the 142 that's in the bank account right now?
yes.
Okay, got it.
I forgot. I already took 15 out and I have it sitting in my checking. There's only 10,000 I have to take out still.
So, how much will it cost to build this thing?
So we're figuring that out right now. I have it fully designed and we're waiting to get back quotes from all the people, the contractors and stuff. So we're thinking it's going to be around 350 to 450, something in there.
Yowza. That's a real number.
It sure is.
So okay, so if you have 142 grand that's in the bank, 33 to pay off the student loans, another 10 grand to finish the purchase of the property gives you $100,000 left over. Is that $100,000 left over? Is that also going to be is that part of your emergency reserve fund?
No, it's not. So we have
Okay.
40,000 in emergency savings.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. So, can this structure be financed?
Yes. Yes. We
Okay.
have a bank we're going to be working with and they seem pretty easy to work with. Yep.
Would you consider taking the 100 or some portion of whatever the 100 is left over and putting that into the cost of this and then financing the rest?
That's correct. That's what we're hoping to do. We're hoping to do the 20% down,
Mm-hmm.
so we don't have PMI.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of wondering that extra money, should we also throw it at that mortgage or should we keep it as cash for other things? Because what we've decided to do is, since we are now debt free, but we're going to have a mortgage, only go into debt for the mortgage and then try to save up money for anything else we would want to buy, including cars.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I like that idea. Let's just say that it ends up being 400 grand. And I know you'd like it to be 350, but all these projects get away a little bit from us. And so let's just say it's a $400,000 build. You
Mm-hmm.
put 80 grand down. That extra money you have goes into the, I don't know, like the surplus emergency reserve, the car fund, the big, who knows that once you build this thing, you got to buy stuff for the place. You know what I mean? So I would keep the $20,000 in reserve for whatever kind of big thing comes next. So you're going to keep living rent free while it's being built. Yes.
That's correct.
Now, my question to you, tell me about how you guys are managing retirement contributions.
Yes. And just so you know, I do have a question about the mortgage because there are different rates and years of fixed rates and stuff. So,
All right, let's do that first.
okay. So we're looking at this bank that offers a five for the construction to permanent loan. It's either a 5, 7, or 10-year fixed rate on a 30-year amortization. The rates range from 3.25 for the 5-year to 3.75 for the 10-year. The rates could go up after those years. Should we do the 5-year with the lowest rate and then refinance for a completely fixed rate?
How long is it going to take to actually build this thing? What's your guess?
Less than a year. I'm hoping 6 months.
So if you could do it in a year and then you could refinance it once it gets all permitted and everything, and then you could try to refi after, yes?
Right.
Soon. Okay. Yeah. Then I would do the 5 year.
Okay. Because I was worried interest rates might go up, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
but you can refi anyway. You're going to have to refi it no matter what. The other question I would have for the mortgage company is would they be willing to do a 30-year fixed rate note if you were to spend like the first 80 grand on the project?
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Ask them about
So,
that.
so if maybe that's a possibility, but otherwise, I don't see there's a real reason for you to. I mean, you should get the lowest rate, and then you're going to end up. It's going to suck because you're going to refi quickly, and it's
Hmm.
going to be like, oh, we threw money down the drain, but it's a construction loan, so I would rather you put more money and sort of waste the money on having this refi possibility and lock it in as soon as you can
Okay.
because and again, if you can say to the bank, look, we're going to put the first 80 into the project. Would you then give us a 30-year fix once that's done? Some banks will say like once the structure, once there's once there's a foundation, and then they'll work with you a little bit. I mean, let's see what they say, but also say to them like, okay, would you do a 2 year? because you know you're going to refi this sucker.
Right, right. Okay.
All right, now let's talk about retirement on your 90 grand.
All right. So I have 42,000 in retirement. I
Okay.
do 150 in a 457B. And then I just upped my Roth 457B to 400 biweekly. So I have about 14%, I believe, going in.
Great. And
Um,
are you work at it for a municipality because that's a 457. Will you be entitled to a pension?
yes, I will. So I went online and I did their little input thing to do like, what I would get at retirement. So my retirement after 25 years at age 47 is currently listed at $3,900 per month.
Wow. Wow. That's great. And you love your job. Is this something you think you're going to be, you're going to at least kind of go through that till that age 47?
I'm really going to try. We do want to try for a family, and I don't know how that's going to play out. I'm vested after 10 years. I have 8 years in right now. If I get to
Okay.
16, I also get health insurance for
Mm,
myself at least. So I'm really going to try to get to 47 because that
it,
3,900 sounds pretty good.
it does. And then so too does the health insurance for,
Yes,
like
absolutely.
really. And they can't penalize you for having a family. Come on now. All right. So you're putting 14% away plus the pension. Now, what about the hubby? He'll be making about 90 as well. What's his retirement contribution level?
So he's at 15% if you include the 6% salary match that he gets every year.
All right, good.
And
And how much does he have saved?
he has 20,000 in it right now. He just started his job just a couple years ago.
When you think about this extra money coming in from his salary, do you have it earmarked for something, or are you just going to put more money in retirement overall for you guys?
That's another kind of question for you. Should we try to max out our retirement to get to the max for both of us? Maybe just for him, since I do have a pension.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure where to put it. Maybe the mortgage.
No, definitely not the mortgage.
Okay.
That's a definitely not. Again, this is such a strange time. You're in big time transition. So you've got the 40 grand. You've got the student debt will be paid down, eventually pretty, I think, probably a year from now, all the debt's gone. The property is purchased. We know that you've got the money set aside to put the money down, have that 20% down on the house. And so, between the free rent and the bonus, I think that there's two things to consider. One is he should be adding more to his retirement, right? So he can just, instead of saying, he's putting 9% in plus the 6% match, no, he should be at 15% himself, right? We want him
Okay.
to start putting money away. But you can also just keep some extra money set aside since you know that you're going to want to have a kid or a couple kids. And, we can build up your non retirement savings again because you have that beautiful pension that's in the future. So it's something like a combination of him putting more money into retirement plus establishing a non retirement savings slash investment account. I think that's where I think you'd want to head. Does that seem reasonable to you?
Yeah, that sounds very reasonable. Um,
Mark would just let me ask that question because Mark's not on the air on this podcast. Mark wants to know what Julia and her husband are doing with all their extra cash since they are living free of rent. So where does that money go?
we are throwing it into the house account. And
Mm-hmm.
then some other things that have popped up, such as he was able to go on a moose hunt suddenly when somebody backed out and he was asked to go on this moose hunt. So it's kind of like a once in a lifetime situation. He's hoping to go again, I'm sure, someday. But I was like, we have the money, you can go. So he just did that. So we did pay, some for that for sure.
Okay, wait a second. Let's have a moment to talk about the moose hunt. Not at all the question, not at all the answer I expected. What does a moose hunt cost?
So this one was 6,000.
I don't even know what to say about that. Is Bullwinkle a moose? Yes.
Yeah.
Bullwinkle is a moose. So that's your husband is paying 6 grand to kill Bullwinkle. I think that's wrong. I'm sorry. I'm totally kidding. I don't really care. So your extra money is just going into a slush fund for fun stuff, right? And other stuff, right?
And we did buy a new mattress. We bought one of the Sleep Number beds, and that was definitely pricey, but we sleep much better now.
Oh, excuse me. This episode is brought to you by Sleep Number, not a sponsor, but thank you for that endorsement. All right. This is so funny. I like that you are putting money aside. I have a feeling that once the house is built, there's going to be a lot more money saved up in cash. And that's going to be great. If for some reason you come to, it's 6, 8, 10 months from now, the house is sort of coming near completion and you've got extra money that's, sitting around in that in that non-retirement account, that's okay. That's okay because you're going to have a lot of things that are happening in the next few years that are cash intensive. So I think it's great that you're living in this 400 square foot apartment. I mean, honestly, if he hunts the moose and catches the moose or whatever he does with the moose, you can't mount the moose on your 400 square foot apartment wall, right?
So, yeah, so he did. He got one. And so he has the skull with the antlers on them.
Oh, God.
But the rest of the moose was meat. So we bought a freezer that holds it. And so now we have a freezer full of frozen moose meat.
Mark, I don't even know what to say right now. I mean, hold on a second. Listen to this. Can you hear this? This is the Rocky and Bullwinkle theme. This is fantastic. Blam, Rocky. Anyway, don't write in if you don't like moose hunting. This is just part of the story. We like details like this. Do you guys have some estate documents? So do you have a will and do you have a power of attorney and a healthcare proxy?
We do not.
I
know. We just got married in last December, so we've been slacking a little this year, I guess, not getting that all together. But
well, let's put that on the list anyway. Since honestly, you're going to be doing this big project. Just put it right up there. Oh yeah, you could have that Dick Cheney thing where someone shoots him by mistake. Remember when Dick Cheney shot that guy? What a dingbat. That's a good point, Mark, that you never know when someone's hunting moose whether the husband is part of the in the sort of the pathway. Let's get that done. Obviously before you have kids, we would want you to have some life insurance for each of you.
We do.
So yeah, great. What do you have?
It's through my work for both of us. There's $250,000 on him and $350 on me. That was the max we were allowed to get.
Okay, so if you were well on your path to we're going to get pregnant now, you probably both need more like $1 million.
Okay.
You can just get it really cheap, term life insurance. Julia, is there anything else we can do for you today?
That's it for me. Thank you so much. You've really eased my mind on all these questions I've been bogging over in my brain for the last 8 months.
Oh, I'm so glad that you called us because it's our pleasure. This is the first time we've heard about spending money and saving money for a moose hunt, so that's awesome. And we wish you guys the very best of luck with your future endeavors. Keep us up to date. Send us some pictures when you start the construction on this thing. This would be awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. If you, like Julia, need some help with maybe how much money you're going to allocate to a new plan for a new house, maybe how much money you need to set aside in Roth versus traditional, why don't you give us a holler? Go to JillOnMoney.com, click on the contact button. And while you're on the website, you can also subscribe to our sister podcast. It's called Eye on Money. And you can also sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Okay, it is hump day. It is the middle of the week. So today it is a day where you maybe want to put your hands metaphorically on someone's back, send somebody a note who might be having a tough week. It's going to make that person feel better. It's going to make you feel better. And don't forget our mantra, grit, growth, grace. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.